The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. Is it on?
Yes.
It's on.
It's recording, bro.
Oh my.
Oh
goodness.
my.
Oh my. Well, I don't know what to say now. I feel like I'm under pressure.
You are. I guess you need to stop. What are you doing?
It's time.
We done?
I know you had something in mind to talk about. And I think we should talk about that. I think we should talk about that. But before we talk about that, I'm going to rant a little bit about something that really has been bugging me lately.
Okay.
So
It's gonna be a grind my gears episode.
no, don't even like put me in the same category as that fucker. So you're supposed to be an adult when you're 18.
Okay.
However, California penal, you can be in a youth facility like minors for people that are under 18 until you're 25.
Huh?
You can be included on your parents' insurance just like you're a minor until you're 25. You can't drink until you're 21. In California, you can't smoke until you're 21. And you can't even buy certain things. Like there are some states that are like, oh, you can't have flavored tobacco because cut the children. Okay, fine. So if you can't do any of the, so essentially all they want you to do is vote and join the military. So what they're saying is, the folks thinking that they're pulling the strings. What they're saying is, get your ass blown off in some foreign country, and
vote for us,
and ensure that I keep my power. So I'm like, you know what? I say raise the voting age. I say raise everything until you're not an adult till you're 21. Fuck, till you're 25.
Well, doesn't the body still, things are still developing until you're 25?
I don't know what that has to do with anything. I'm just saying there needs to be some consistency.
Yeah.
In the treatment of people. Am I an adult? Well, I'm way past 21 and 2018 and all that shit, but I'm just like, look, am I an adult or not when I turn 18? If I'm not, then don't sit there and say you should vote. Right? You're mature enough to vote, but you're not mature enough to make any fucking decision whatsoever about your life, except for to get my ass blown off in a foreign country.
That's pretty odd.
That's bullshit is what it is. So, if you're an adult at 18, make everything 18. If not, then raise everything up to 21. There are shitloads of people that would be shitting bricks in their fucking panties if all that junk got raised to 21. Like, you can't join the military until you're 21, fucking military would be decimated.
Because that's another 3 years.
Yeah.
I wonder what it is in other countries.
In other countries, you just get drafted.
At 18, probably.
Well, you're eligible at 18. Like in Korea, I think you can defer a little bit.
Has it always been 18 for voting in the military? It probably has, right? For a long time.
In the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't need anybody's... Once you're 18, you can fucking sign the paperwork.
You're supposed to be an adult when you're 18. I say if you're going to be considered an adult at 18, you should be treated like one. And, I know people are going to say stuff like, no, kids today or people, there's not enough, they're not prepared, whatever. I'm going to say that is a first world problem. Your parents too helicopterish or overprotective to, let you kind of learn.
Yeah.
And easy for me to say after I've finished, but, I'm well aware that the fact that I'm sitting here right now at the age I'm at is a bona fide miracle. Several bona fide miracles, in fact.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's my little beef. I don't like the inconsistency of it. You're either an adult or you're not. Don't sit there and try to get whatever it is you're getting from me. There are a lot of benefits that come with being an adult, but there's shit tons of burdens.
Right. That is weird, the insurance thing, until you're 25. Like, what was the other thing you said?
Well, California penal, you can be considered a quote unquote youth offender and stay there until you're 25.
That's fucked up.
You're neither an adult or you're not. And this whole sliding scale bullshit of stuff is really, it's been getting on my nerves. Actually got on my nerves ever since I was in college. Because I went to a college that didn't grade on an absolute scale.
What did they grade on?
It's a curve. There's always going to be a deviation, a standard bell curve type thing. There's always going to be A's. There's always going to be F's. I'm the type of person who's like, look, tell me what I got to get.
Right.
Like, oh, it depends on
none of this curve bullshit.
It depends on who your peers are, or what. It's like the Academy Awards. Yeah, let's just vote. I don't think that there should be a Best Picture every year.
Oh, you mean if it's a shit year, there's no Best Picture?
Yeah. Oddly enough, I don't think. Well, no, there's going to be a Best Picture because they're going to have movies. They've already had movies that were released this year, so it might be a super short.
It was done when they went up to 10.
It could be a super short award season, but even calling a season, all this junk is just maybe it's the heat.
It is hot in here.
Anyway, so yeah, that was my thing about it. I don't like that.
I'm trying to think what it is in New Zealand. I think it's all over the board in New Zealand as well.
See, that's bullshit too. You're either an adult or you're not. Oh, okay, so...
Because it was drinking age 18, most things 18, but then they changed the drinking age to 16. But other shit is still, like, later.
Okay, so they went kind of different from where I'm thinking.
So, you can get drunk...
Why wouldn't they just change it to 16 as an adult?
For everything? I don't know.
I mean, the secular religious people would love that.
Everything at 16?
Yeah. Including voting?
Why? Because then they could...
Dude, as a 16-year-old, you are pretty much...
I just mold the young minds.
You're pretty much enamored with everything secular religious.
Like...
You know what I mean by secular religious.
Yeah.
So... Hell, I was like that until I was like 22. No, 26, really.
Yeah. I
was all in for doing my part. I felt like that damn horse in Animal Farm.
Oh, we can talk about Animal Farm. I just
listened to it
again.
Yeah, reacquainted myself to it.
Which scenes did you forget about? I
forgot about the one pig Snowball.
Okay. Snowball ended up becoming the number one pig, right?
No, that was Napoleon.
Oh, Snowball's... Does Snowball question stuff?
Yeah, those two would always fight, and Snowball ended up just kind of running away or something.
Right. And you probably forgot some of the stuff about the horse.
Oh, I forgot all about the horse.
What was the horse's name again?
Benjamin, maybe? I don't know.
I always felt sorry for the horse. Works himself to death.
Oh.
In the name of loyalty for the party.
Yeah. What isn't it? Work himself to death. He works himself to he was severely hurt, and it was when he was supposed to retire, right? Or
right.
That they just...
And retirement is death.
Well, they sold him to a glue company. But the funny thing about Animal Farm, funny thing about all those kind of regimes, they can't be the only game in town. Communist country will not survive if all countries are communist.
Because they have to have a host.
Yeah. Every parasite needs a host.
Right.
Authoritarian dictatorships cannot survive if everybody is an authoritarian dictatorship of one form or another.
And you were saying also, if you just keep on starving the masses, then the people at the top, they're not going to have anything. There's nothing to divvy up, right?
I don't know how long it's going to last, right?
Right.
But I don't... As propped up as the Soviet Union was, it only lasted really for 70 years.
It's pretty short. When you think about other forms of government. Like the United States, for example.
The United States only lasted about 100.
But still here.
It's not really the United States anymore. Well, you know what? No, I don't know.
The experiment is still continuing.
As a bona fide superpower, even then, right? Because after the Second World War, it was like, what, 20, maybe 30 years before everybody else started catching up again?
I don't know that everybody has... Why have people caught up? I mean, I guess some countries have caught up.
Pretty much all of them have caught up. All the ones that are players on the board have caught up. But you wanted to talk about something that was...
I just wanted to talk, because I've been watching, every time a sports tournament comes along, I say I'm not going to watch it, and then I watch it. So I've been watching the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, for someone who claims to hate sports, you certainly do watch a lot of sports.
And I've been enjoying, the soccer that's being played. It's been pretty enjoyable, but one of the things that I guess it's the messaging around the World Cup is, when I was coming up, there was no one for me to look up to, right? And now that I'm retiring, there was this woman, Marta. She's the captain of the Brazilian team when they got put out. She was making some statements in front of the press saying, now I'm that, not just me, but other women, young girls can look up and see me, see that there's women's soccer, and I'm well, do you have to have that? That's kind of something that's kind of pushed a lot is, you have to be able to see this person or that person, the person that looks like you or the person that's like you in order to know that you can achieve and do these things. And I'm do you?
So she succeeded in being the bumper sticker? Be the change that you envision?
I don't know.
Right, she's saying I didn't have anyone to look up to when I was young, but now...
Well, she probably looked up to some of Brazilian men's soccer players, I would think.
Yeah, but they didn't look like her.
Right. They weren't her. Well, they weren't her. But I'm so how did people, historically, how did anyone who was ever, minority when there was nobody, right? How did they pull themselves up?
Well, historically, and even in a lot of places today, if you're a minority, you're pretty much hating life.
But there was still people that made it, though. And they didn't have anybody to say, 42, what's his name?
Jackie Robinson?
Yeah, there was no one before Jackie Robinson in the major leagues. Yeah.
Nope. Well, there were, but they were never out. They were closeted black people.
Okay. Not out front and center.
One guy said he was an Indian, I think.
Okay. So how did those people succeed without there being somebody for them to look at and say, well, if this person can do it, I can do it?
I don't know, but where my mind went on that one?
What's that?
Before Jackie Robinson, being in baseball, being a professional athlete was pretty shitty.
Right.
Even during Jackie Robinson's era.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I guess... Right, 40s, 50s, DiMaggio...
Well, it's not like now.
DiMaggio lived in a... Well, I don't know anybody, any baseball player able to live in a hotel room for an entire season.
Joe DiMaggio did?
Mickey Mantle, yeah, DiMaggio, they used to live in a hotel.
Damn.
What's his face? Andrew Carnegie pretty much rented out an entire floor of the Waldorf Astoria. Of course, he was one of the richest men in the United States, but, back in the olden days, a whole hotel floor for years.
That's crazy.
I've only heard of somebody doing that, and it was back
do you think he was able to order off the menu?
I don't know.
I think he probably was. But yeah, but that's kind of that's the messaging, right? That's you have to have this, you have to have that, so that so that the kids that are coming up can see that it can be done, that it can be achieved. And I'm well, that's assuming quite a few things, isn't it?
Well, not only that, it's incredibly superficial. The way that a lot of the messaging and a lot of the propaganda is aimed at these days, it's incredibly superficial. Which makes me wonder, right? Are we all interchangeable people just based on the way we look? And if that's the case, then why does anybody that's sitting or doing anything that they're doing now, why do we need them? We can just get someone else that looks just like them and everything should be the same.
So you think that the message is that we're all interchangeable?
Well, if it's based on looks,
right? Or sex or whatever.
Right. If it's based on
Race,
on
sex.
exterior characteristics, then aren't we interchangeable? Every white dude's the same as any other white dude. Every black dude's the same as every other black dude, and so on and so forth. Like that frickin' shampoo
commercial.
That frickin' shampoo commercial that I can't get out of my mind.
They tell two friends and they tell two friends and so on and so on and so on. It's Pantene, bro.
Whatever it is, I saw it in the late 70s and I can't get it out of my brain. It's like an earworm.
I don't think the New Zealand version of that commercial made it to New Zealand till much later.
Till the 80s? 90s?
Maybe 90s.
You didn't see it till 2000?
Yeah. It was like 90s or early 2000s. I remember the commercial. But it was like the Kiwi accent, right? And they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
But yeah, I mean, that was the thing. And then what was the other thing that I kept on telling you? Oh yeah, if everything's based on your intelligence and your abilities, the way people who have succeeded like to say it is, then I have no need for friends or family. And no one else should. If everything would be based on your abilities.
Oh no.
Then you don't. Then there's no reason to have any special relationship with anyone.
Well, see, people are going to say that everything should be based on, their abilities until
Need a break.
Until they meet a situation like, if we were just judging on grades, 70% of the class or 80% of the class would be Asian.
Oh yeah, about like college acceptance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
See, but I think that statement about things should be based on my abilities is really just that. I think it's part of that incredible human desire for security. Because you want to think that if you achieve something, that was achieved because of something that was in your control that you could do. Then there's nothing that anyone that can't be taken away.
But you see, Dave, there's also these other non-tangible factors.
Yeah, like who your mom is having an affair with.
What's that?
Huh?
What are you referring to?
Intangible factors, right?
Right.
Forrest Gump's mom
Right.
the principal to get into school.
That's actually a pretty funny scene.
Well, I think it's funny how in the 80s those two were in a movie and they were each other's love interest.
Yeah, was it what they were like stand-up comedians or something?
Well, he was a stand-up comedian and she was like a housewife that wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
I never saw the movie.
What was it called?
Punchline.
That's right. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, what the fuck is up with Hollywood? It does that.
Well, it's a small pool. I mean,
no, but like the woman will be the love interest, and then that's an extreme example, right? But
she was already older than he was at the time. I mean, she was like
in Punchline.
Yeah, she was a teenage actress.
Yeah.
She was Gidget and the Flying Nun.
Wow.
So she had been doing stuff.
How do you remember that?
Because I used to watch reruns of Gidget and the Flying Nun.
We didn't have either of those things. What's Gidget?
It's basically a story about a young girl from Southern California. Her name's like Frances something, but her nickname's Gidget. And just it's her adventures and her best friend LaRue.
And it was a series?
Yeah.
Like full blown like network series.
Yeah. In the 60s.
Like 26 whatever episodes a year or whatever it was.
Whatever it was, yeah.
How many seasons?
Don't know.
How can you not know this?
Because I only watched reruns for a couple of years.
And the Flying Nun, we never had that in New Zealand either.
Basically, her as a nun, and she could fly.
Weird.
Well, yeah. That's why I like that. That's why I like that one song by LaRue so much. I don't like any of her other songs, but
which song?
Bulletproof. This time I'll be bulletproof.
Is it about the Flying Nun?
No. It's just the singer's name is LaRue. and LaRue was Gidget's best friend in the show Gidget.
Your brain is so weird.
Well, I never claimed that my brain wasn't weird.
It's too hot. Yeah, Dave and I spend a lot of our time complaining about how freaking hot it's been in California the last, what is it, 3 weeks, a month?
It's only been a couple of weeks.
No, it's been longer, bro.
No, not for me. No, it's only been a couple of weeks. Like, this past week was kind of humid. I didn't like it.
I'm over it already.
I never really liked the heat very much, but it's good for my alien.
I say bring back the rain and some cooler temperatures.
Yeah, but I think that would be very good for my joints. But still, I want some worrying, especially among the smug people. But then again, there's probably already worrying going on. It probably never goes away.
So while we're talking about themes, another theme that we talked about this week, just very quickly, another topic. I guess we're doing shotgun topics?
Or highlights, I don't know.
I don't know, highlights. Is one of the things one of the things I always talk about is when I listen to talkback radio. I guess it's conservative radio.
Pretty much all radios
on the
AM.
Yeah, I get worked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of fucks with a few hours at least of my day because I'm like, ugh, I get in a funk. So, and we were talking about this today earlier at lunch, and you were like, oh, well, that's, if everybody is feeling that way, then when they're listening to that stuff, then it's, what do you call it? Mass media.
Well, that's the idea, but
it's mass media manipulation or whatever you want to call it. But I'm like, what would the advantage be to having everybody be angry?
I think there's
or worked up.
I think there's a definite economic advantage that people would probably use psychiatrists and psychologists and stuff to figure out.
They're going to go out and buy a book on fucking conservative politics?
Well, I don't know, but whatever it is, that's the way they want people to be. One of my friends blames Roger Ailes for a lot of that stuff, especially on Fox, right? The get you angry type thing.
Remember Bill O'Reilly, who would get angry all the time? That was his whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, he would just lose his rag a lot of times.
I never watched any of that stuff. I mean, I never watched anything until like Tucker Carlson, and the only reason why I watched
Tucker doesn't really get angry though.
I listened to him because
if he's angry, he's not really showing it.
Well, he should be angry, but I just listened to him because I had like my Microsoft games that I like to play, the daily challenges, and it was just kind of fun to have him on the background. He left, he got canned, and I've been trying to listen to all the other stuff, what have you, on that's out there in the.
Is he still doing anything?
Yeah, I think he does stuff like
he's probably doing podcasts and stuff, right?
Directly on Twitter and stuff.
Right.
But funnily enough, none of the junk that was out there was really working for me. Like, none of the Fox lineup ever worked for me.
Nah.
None of the podcasts are out there, like Dave Rubin.
I don't really like the Fox lineup either.
All the stuff that's out there, not even Dan Bongino. And what I found was the audiobooks. So, like, just find an audiobook and pop it in, and depending on how far behind on the daily challenges I am, because they go for every month. They go for a month.
Right.
If you have a computer and you have like Microsoft Mahjong or the Microsoft Card Suite, then
These are Audible books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if I could play the game and read at the same time. Then I'd be a freaking chameleon with eyes going to different places.
Now I'm talking about the service Audible.
Oh no! I just kind of tool around looking.
You find the books,
looking for them on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
But I also found that another thing to have in the background where I don't really have to pay attention, and I can just listen to voices trying to act through their trying to emote through their voice. Romance novels.
Oh, the Audible romance novels?
Yeah.
So basically, you're preparing yourself for your career in radio.
Okay. But
wouldn't that be nice though?
It would be, but
To
then
be paid to just talk about bullshit?
but then I'd have to like do all kinds of stuff to make sure that my vocal cords are good, like eat honey and
I don't
Suck
think
on
there's that much to it, dude.
not scream, keep my throat warm.
I think the dirty little secret is
Be like-
there's not I don't think there's like hard and fast rules.
Be like George Costanza with his hands. That was like the one Seinfeld episode that I thought was okay.
What?
When he became a hand model, or like, oh my god, these hands, they're so delicate and manly at the same time. And it's like walking around with oven mitts on his hands and junk.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, I forgot that episode. There's so many great Seinfeld episodes.
Well, says you, I only like the one. I
like them all, dude.
I never
I
liked
like them all.
Seinfeld.
I like every Seinfeld episode.
I never liked Seinfeld. I never liked Friends that much. I never liked any of the Thursday night TV.
I like Friends too.
I didn't.
Friends, I tell you what. If you're going through like a divorce or a breakup, Friends is the most depressing show in the world to watch because it's all about breakups.
Wouldn't any show be kind of depressing if you're going through a divorce or a breakup?
I don't know. I just remember I couldn't watch Friends when I was going through my divorce. I could watch other stuff, but Friends in particular,
Oh, okay.
couldn't watch it. And I stopped going to certain supermarkets because they were playing like weepy fucking like breakup songs.
Who the hell plays weepy breakup songs at a supermarket?
It was at fucking the Ralph's on Lincoln by the 90 freeway. I stopped going to that place because they were always playing these fucking
You
songs.
should be playing songs.
I was like trying to do my shop and being like, I'm not coming back to the supermarket.
You should be playing some upbeat songs about getting fat.
It wasn't upbeat, man.
Well, if I ran a supermarket, the music would be upbeat about how it's great to eat, spend money, and get fat.
Maybe it was just my state of mind. Maybe like everything was depressing. I guess it's possible.
So your position has just changed.
Dave's like giving me this look of like,
No, Dave's not giving you any look at all.
he is. He's like, get hard or go home.
No. I'm not one to look down upon someone's perceived or, my perception of their physical or emotional toughness.
Divorce sucks.
Well, I think it's supposed to suck, and I don't know that. I'm of two minds on divorce. I mean,
Oh, you mean like whether you should get divorced?
yeah.
Well, probably not.
I mean,
I didn't want a divorce.
there's a part of me that says you need to kind of tough it out. And,
I wanted to make it work and go to therapy and
no, I don't mean that.
but I wanted to make it work and she didn't, so
Yeah.
you have to both want to do it.
Well,
Make it work, I mean.
yeah, but I what was it? I saw something that kind of blamed the high divorce rate on no fault divorce,
Okay.
and yeah, I don't.
Yeah, in California, if you're married for less than 5 years and you have like less than, it's some certain monetary figure, no kids, no property, then it's, anybody can do the paperwork.
No, I'm talking about just getting divorced if you want to.
Okay. That's no fault divorce.
I believe so.
So you're saying you should have to
Yeah.
show some things?
He or she cheated on me. He or she beats me.
Right.
He or she,
Is cheating as a high enough bar? That would be grounds for divorce?
would in my book,
Yeah.
the whole purpose of being married is to forsake all others for one and
Right.
only one.
Yep.
So
We're in the same boat there, bro.
if you haven't forsaken all, so this whole polyamory bullshit or my,
Open marriage.
that's an oxy. You can't
That is
have
I know.
You can't have an open marriage.
Again, dude, preaching to the choir. Like, I don't understand people that talk about that. I'm like,
Open
how
marriage.
is that a fucking marriage?
That's like a fish that can breathe air.
I think unless you're into, well, no, polygamy is not an open marriage.
Polygamy is a weird one.
It's not an open marriage.
No, it's not. But it's also a weird one.
I just don't like the idea of having 5 wives.
Well, the whole purpose of polygamy is not. It's for sparse populations that have no strong government.
So you can have like giant families,
No government means no help.
right?
So you need some kind of tie to get help. I can't think of a much better tie in the human experience than family.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, for the last few decades, maybe 100 or so years, they've been trying to like break those. That's actually, it's probably more than 100 years.
All in the interest of what? Just having one thing?
All in the interest of their
worshipping government, worshipping one religion.
All in the interest of self-aggrandizement and power for a very small, for a different small few.
Right. And the thing that I don't understand is that people who kind of like willingly buy into that. Like, of like, you know, for example, saying, oh, I don't need my family, I don't need my friends, because I got this thing over here. I'm like,
well, no,
you're not going to be a happy person.
It's not I don't need my family. It's not that I don't need my family, I don't need my friends. I've got the government. It's I don't need my family. My friends can be my family, and these other people will take care of me if I expect them to.
Good luck with that.
Oh, I don't know. It will help. I mean, they will help if you've got something that they want.
Yeah, like I'm not discounting friendship. I think friendship, you can have friendship that's at the level of a family bond, but that's fucking...
No, you can't.
It's pretty rare. You don't think?
You can't have a friend that you hate that will come and pick you up in the middle of the night.
Oh, a friend you hate?
Your brother might hate you, but if you call him and you need him,
yeah.
If your brother might hate you, but if you call him, he'll probably answer the phone.
Right.
Of course, there are those people that sit there, well, no, my mother kicked me, or my family kicked me out of the house because I'm gay, which is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But
seems like well, I'm sure it happens.
There's plenty of people that would do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that was the only reason. But for some people who are very into certain religions, or into certain cultural things, yeah, okay. So if you're a homosexual, they might disown you.
Yeah, like completely.
Yeah, but up until a couple hundred years ago, I mean, families disown their Amish people will disown you if you don't join their community. You don't even have to be gay, right? You can be raised Amish after you go through your period of banding about. If you don't join the community,
you're out.
Yeah. You
are excommunicated from the community.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah. And that's got to be gnarly.
Well, but the Amish people are just as petty and weird and human as everybody else, because remember, we saw that Amish documentary.
Uh-huh.
And there was a guy who wasn't born Amish, whose family wanted to kind of get back to nature, so they went and lived on the periphery of some Amish people.
Right.
And so the guy kind of grew up that way. And he basically lives like an Amish person, but his family was basically laughed at and ostracized by the Amish community because, like, well, why would you live like this? English. I was sitting there going, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know.
How can you tout all this brotherly love and all this other BS and not? But that's the thing, not walking your talk is pretty much one of the rungs to the ladder of success.
It's universal, which is, I don't know what I think about that.
What do you mean you don't know what you think about that?
Well, I mean, like, if everybody isn't walking their talk,
then the thing breaks down.
So
everyone can't do that. I believe that there's a certain percentage where you can get away with that, and the people that do that.
So you have to have a certain percentage working on the farm?
No, you have to have a certain percentage walking the talk. One of the rungs to the ladder of success is to not walk your talk. To talk all you want and do, the other junk.
So you leech off of the other people.
Not necessarily leech, but you take advantage. It was kind of like that was basically the theme of the invention of lying.
I don't think I ever saw this film.
We saw it together.
I
Ricky
don't,
Gervais.
I don't remember it.
It was the one where everybody told the truth and he could tell a lie. So he was like, he went up to that woman that was the attorney in SVU,
Uh-huh.
and he said, "The world is going to end if we don't have sex." And she was like, "Oh, do we have time to go to get a hotel room then?" I mean, he was basically describing a society where no one lied, and it was a humdrum society.
Yeah.
But it was a bit of commentary on life. But I think Ricky Gervais and most people have figured out that the way to quote unquote success in any society is to be the one that doesn't follow the rules. There's a certain percentage of people that can do that, and the society will keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
You cross that line, then that society will collapse.
So where do you think the United States is at?
The United States, well, it's always on the precipice of stuff. I mean, right now the United States is into all kinds of weird bullshit that's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But the United States has been into all kinds of weird bullshit that's dumb for almost its entire...
Is it really... Is the United States called the Great Experiment?
I don't know.
Someone was talking about that today, and I'm like, I've heard that, like, used before.
Well,
I guess it's the experiment of the Constitution and,
everybody has a Constitution.
Right. Well, not every country has it. Well, yeah, but it's not enshrined.
The paper?
I don't think everybody does have a Constitution, Dave.
China has one. So you used to have one.
Well, what's the difference then?
Huh?
What's the difference?
Well, it used to be United States. They didn't want you to be able to change it willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
But, there are elements trying to do weird shit. They always are. I mean, I think a lot of the amendments should be dialed back.
Mm. Well, so you don't even like the amendments?
Well, the 13th Amendment makes sense. Whatever amendment it was that had prohibition, and then later on they got rid of prohibition.
But it's awfully hard to change the Constitution.
So hard to change that even though a certain amendment has failed, there are people sitting there going, "Well, we're going to sign on to it now," but it failed 40 years ago. You can't just sign on to it okay, now we got the states. We got 75% of the states ratifying, so that's an amendment. No, it failed 40 years ago. You got to start over.
You got to do it again.
And the fact and to do it again is bullshit too. There's a lot of BS stuff going on, and I don't know if people are always as stupid as they seem to be, or if we've indeed got dumber. And yes, if you can't read and write cursive, you're a dumbass. Just like someone would think that I'm a dumbass because I don't know how to use all the apps.
Yeah. Well, apps, fuck apps.
I think. Yeah. What was that? I think we pretty much run our course, really.
Yeah, and it's that was a lot of different topics. So maybe we'll pick up one or two of them next week.
Yeah. So keep listening. Like, subscribe,
share,
start donating money if you want. Give us a reason to sell out or opportunity.
And
to be like Snoop Dogg.
You can find us on Instagram, Low Fact Podcast. If you want to, you've already found us, but if you want to find us in other places where you listen, just Google Low Fact Podcast. Low Fact Podcast, 3 separate words. We'll show up. And
we'll show up.
If you go to our Instagram page, you can comment on some of the stuff I post.
We'll be like the genie in the magic lamp. You just
What's up?
All right.
Take it easy.